ladies and gentlemen. So welcome to my Colosseum Waves guide. I'm going to keep this simple, short, and sweet. I see a lot of people from gnomonkey to aatykon to molgoatkirby, sorry, making guides for the Colosseum, and they're really complex, honestly, because all their prayers are one-ticked and they're perfectly flicking prayers, which a lot of players can't do because not everyone has perfect connection. So I want to show you guys a Colosseum run with tbow, Kodai, BGS, whip, just the wave part. Maybe I'll showcase the boss if I can get there on this run with enough supplies. You know, it's not perfect. These are the stats, but I want to show you guys what it's going to look like if you're not a professional flicker, because it is doable and it is 100% solvable without that insane, you know, prayer flicking and stuff like that. So I'm going to show you guys how it's done. A couple things right off the bat. It does help a lot to pre-pot range just to get to like wave 5 really quickly. You don't have to actually bring a ranging pot in, and then 10 restores, 9 brews, and 1 super combat is what works best for me, to be honest. It's what I have, you know, a ton of supplies with typically when I get to Soul. When I do this, now there are a couple run enders. You can get RNG'd out of invocations, and you can get RNG'd out of a run from bad spawns as well, which doesn't happen very often. The worst waves, in my opinion, are like wave 6 and wave 8. It seems like wave 10 and wave 11, no matter what you do, if you start on this tile and run behind the pillar, everything spawns north of the pillar. You can split it by running to this pillar, and then you can split it again by running to that pillar. So honestly, like, I've never had an issue with 10 and 11 really. When I first started seeing those waves, I was having issues, but once I saw them, it's not that hard. I struggle more on like 6 and 8, and then 7 is generally a pretty free wave. So we're going to come in here, first wave, mage. A melee will spawn unless you kill these guys quick enough, and then you have 3 Fremenic warriors. The Fremenic warriors, the main thing is that you just want to be moving all the time. You don't want to stop. If you stop moving or stay on the same tile for too long, they'll hit you, and that is what you don't want to happen. So we'll hit that guy there, boom, kill this guy. The ranged minion actually just got fixed the other day. He was bugged for a while, but he just got fixed yesterday. We're going to flick Rigor. Rigor is the only prayer we're going to flick, and it's because you'll actually save prayer points because you're going to kill stuff faster. You're not going to lose prayer points from flicking Rigor if you do it properly. You don't have to be perfect with it. We took some damage on that wave, and the goal is to heal up all your damage with Blood Barrage on either the Minotaur, the melee person, or the actual minions. So we took Blasphemy 1, we're going to take Blasphemy 2. Totemic and Doom are both run enders, so you can't take either of those. And then what I'm doing at the start of every wave is basically spawn fixing. So if you stand still on that tile until everything spawns and then move, nothing that spawns can hit you for like a good 5 seconds, and there's a couple other reasons why you do it too. Nothing's going to spawn behind you, and nothing will spawn to the left of you, so it'll all either spawn up there or over here, and then some stuff will spawn all the way in the back, like that ranger here. We do have a mage as well. Whenever you get a spawn in the back, you always want to check which tile it's hugging, because right now I can actually step out and kill this major here, and that ranger is still trapped, but I can't do that on the other side. If I step out on the left side of this pillar, it's actually going to do the opposite. The ranger will come out and you'll pull him towards you. So whenever you have something that spawns back there, just make sure, check which side of the tile it's heavy leaning towards. I'm pretty much full health, so I don't have to Blood Barrage here, because I'm going to regenerate another hit point here, and I'll only be 1 shy. Magic does seem to kill these guys quicker, but I have rune arrows and they're just fine, so not much of a big deal. Like I said, that ranging pot, all we really want it for is to get us like through wave 4 quickly, because dying is kind of annoying. Now if we step on this side, you'll see it'll actually pull this guy, and I can pull him towards me, and that way I can stay on my starting tile or around my starting tile. You don't want to be ending the wave on the other side of the room. You want to stick to this start tile and just always, the 5th tick after the wave starts, move behind the pillar. Move in the center tile behind the pillar. It's an interchangeable if you have Solar Flare 2 or 3, or if you have Re-entry stacked up. There's a lot of invocations that you really don't want to take when you're doing this. Myopia is fine, Blasphemy is also fine, Solar Flare 1 is fine, Blasphemy 3, Doom, and Bees. So hopefully I don't keep getting Doom. I've already pulled it, twice already. And Bees is another run ender. It's like impossible to do the boss with Bees on, so you really don't want Bees. You don't want Quartet either, at least not with this gear and this setup. If I had Venator Bow, or if I had like Max Mage with the Shadow, I do have a Shadow, but my max hit's 49 in Max Mage, because I'm only 92 magic, so I can't one-shot the melee. I don't have a Venator Bow, so 4 Fremennik Warriors is just really dangerous. We're going to keep stacking Blasphemy. This is the last time we're going to be able to stack it. We'll throw our Mage gear back on. Take Blasphemy 3. We're getting 2 Rangers and a Mage at the start of this wave, so we're going to pray range right off the bat. That guy will actually hit us, the Major. It's not really a big deal. We just have to make sure we're moving here. Couple misclicks, not really a big deal. Then we can kill this guy, and then right here, I think the best thing to do is wait for this guy to attack, and then run around the corner and pray Mage. And the reason why is because we're actually going to get this guy here. Now thankfully I didn't take damage from that guy, but what we'll do here is we'll actually kill this Major first. And as you can see, like, I've already taken damage, I've already made mistakes, but it's fine, we'll recover from all this. You really shouldn't worry about your supplies or anything like that, especially when you're learning. I mean, that's what supplies are for. And once you get it down, you're going to have plenty of supplies every run. So right here, we'll kill a Ranger next, and this way we're not wasting prayer points, like trying to kill the melee. And the other reason I moved to this side of the pillar is so that I don't have to double flick the melee and the Ranger. It's not difficult to do, but if they're not on the right, like if they're on the same tick, you're going to take unavoidable damage, it's going to throw you off, you're going to panic, chances are you might die. And having a death this early on is kind of stupid, so yeah, try to avoid that at all costs. Keep flicking Rigor. Every 5th attack, these guys throw a Javelin up in the air. After they throw it up in the air, it'll come down, so don't move. Like, if you move too early, it could land on the tile that you're standing on. You want to wait until like the Javelin's actually in the air before moving. And then this is what I said, if you ever take damage during the waves, you can always heal off these guys. You can flick Augury, you can even take off like Masori or whatever else if you want to drop more potions or if you have the room to do so. Keep flicking here. Ideally you want to get through wave 4 and sometimes even wave 5 only using 1 restore. If you can do that, you're golden. Because the rest of the waves are basically repeating that, so 1 more restore plus a little bit extra with the Majors and stuff. The Lions having 2 Lions. Lions take a while to kill with tbow, and so do these range guys. I'd say these range guys take the longest, and they're what's going to drain the most prayer away from you. And this isn't really an ideal start, like I've already used more prayer than I like to admit, but it's fine. Now we're getting the good invocations, so Myopia, like I said, is fine. I have these tiles marked back here, Myopia 2 and Myopia 1, just so I know the attack range from here to the other side of the pillar with Myopia on. If Myopia 3 is on, it's basically the pillar is your attack range. Something that's good to keep in mind with Myopia is that basically if there's a Ranger at the front of the pillar and then a Mage behind it, you can stand up to this Myopia 1 tile
and the major won't hit you if it's a little major, so just always keep that in mind. Wave 4, we have a lion and a mage, so pray mage at the start of this round, and then we'll move back over here. And you can see when you do this, if there's a lion that spawns right there, it's not going to start charging its attack. And the lion doesn't start charging its attack until it sees you. And then once it sees you, like I said, sorry, I'm trying to kill this guy right here. Once it sees you, it starts charging its attack. So right now, it actually did see me there, and it started charging its attack. But normally it doesn't. I think that's just because I moved a tick too late. It's also good that these guys are spread apart here. I can start DPSing this major while I wait for the other guys to spawn. Because he's going to block the line from showing. So I can step right here. We're going to get another major and a melee coming in hot. We'll just keep Prey Mage on. We'll kill this guy, move into the pillar as this guy dies, so that we don't get instantly hit by this lion. So we're going to pay attention to our XP drops here. That's probably a kill. I just lagged. And thank God I didn't take damage. That's why I don't flick prayers on all these guys. I would rather just use like strategies to avoid taking damage from them. Because I have lag spikes pretty frequently, and my ping isn't always consistent, and what that translates into for me is a lot of deaths if I try to flick my prayers, or like flick quick prayers or anything like that. So take this as a guide on how to do this without doing all that crazy fancy stuff, because you don't need to do any of that. This isn't the Inferno. This is actually a lot simpler than the Inferno, I'm not gonna lie. A lot easier with a lot more reward potential. There's already a lot of bot farms going though. I think I was seeing about 40 bots on this world alone. So now we have the lion, and the lion is basically going to be range, mage, melee. Now every wave that he spawns in the future, it'll be opposite. So the next time on wave 5, it's going to be mage, range, melee. It's always melee last, and then the first two alternate. And they alternate between waves too. And if you have two mana cores on the same wave, they'll always have the same attack pattern. They'll never attack together. One will attack first and then the second one. So you basically just, you do range, mage, melee, and then you'd wait a second and you'd go range, mage, melee. Now the Q to actually attack on these guys is basically as it flies through the air, just like that. And it's really easy to save a lot of prayer points on these guys, because as I said, these guys take a while to kill, even with the tbow. So if you just wait and turn your prayers off and then turn them back on after it finishes charging, or like a half a second after, and then you flick your prayers off. And like I said, the cue to change your prayers is as soon as you see the ball flying through the air. I think it took me a few of these guys to actually get it down, to be honest. And I still make mistakes here and there, and I still lag. And chances are, if you get one off prayer, it won't even hit you, to be honest. The accuracy's kind of low. It hits you like 50% of the time, I'd say. So if you miss two prayers, you're likely to get hit once for like 25 to 28 damage, but not again. It's not as deadly as the Inferno. Believe it or not, that J-Claw guy, the little barbarian guy, that's one of the most scariest guys here. He'll spec you out if you like. If Myopia 2 right now, if I try to put on a blowpipe and try to heal off of him or something, I will literally instantly die. 90% of the time he'll just spec you out. I've actually gotten really lucky that those guys hit zeros on me pretty frequently. I don't really know why. So yeah, I haven't really gone into either. The reason why we have the blowpipe is to heal on the mage minions with specs, since they're always max hit and I don't have SGS. And then we have bulwark to figure out wave transitions, or pillar transitions. If I can't properly prayer flick something, which does happen. We're on wave 5, we have a mage, ranger, and a lion, and we'll see if it happens on this wave, where I have to kind of tick things differently. So wait till 5 and then we go. And this is kind of a bad one. The lion hasn't started charging yet, which is actually really ideal here. And basically what we're going to do here is kill this ranger. And then we'll kill the major. And we're going to keep moving. And now what we're going to do is basically put on our bulwark, and we're going to run all the way to this pillar over here. And that's because we're going to be getting a mage and a melee guy pretty soon. And there's no real good way to deal with them here other than to just go to a different pillar and handle it this way. So we'll actually step up here. We're going to do this. I didn't mean to step up. We're just going to pray melee. We won't even prayer flick it, even though it's not that difficult to pray flick these guys. And we'll flick the augury to kill this bad boy quicker. Could heal off of him, actually, since I took some damage. So we'll do that. We'll heal off of him. And we're actually going to hit both these guys here. We can flick this to make it go a bit quicker. As soon as we're 97 health, or whatever my max health is, we'll flick it back to the tbow. Guy will probably die in this next hit here. And I just had another lag spike. So the reason why the Din's Bulwark is so good is because, I mean, also that tile safe spot in general, that mana core didn't see me because I moved at the right timing. I got behind the pillar, and then I got to this side because I saw two things spawned in this diagonal. Whenever two things spawn in this diagonal, they'll always be off tick from one another, but if you have myopia on, there's no way to reach them without running to this side of the pillar anyways and having them drag in. I think I already have, like, what, myopia 3? Maybe it's myopia 2, so I could have hit them. I could have dragged them in by standing on, like, this tile on the pillar over there. It would have dragged them in. But I really don't want to have to deal with a mage, a mana core, and the Fremennik trio at the same time. So we move to the other side of the pillar, we kill the Fremennik trio, and because the mana core hasn't started charging yet, you can get to another pillar before he can actually hit you. And that's exactly what I did. Is I just bolted it to another pillar to rearrange the stack because I knew I'd be getting the mage and the melee, and I needed to take care of them. Now right here, there's a couple solves I can do. I could run to another pillar if I wanted, or what I can do is I can step out and kill this mage. It's on the same tick as the mana core, so I don't have to worry about anything. I could actually even kill the mana core first, and then the mage, and then the Colossus. If I kill the shaman first, the Colossus is just going to step over, and then you're going to have this guy attacking with range, mage, range, melee. So they'll be on the same tick, and I won't be able to avoid the damage. But I can avoid the damage if I just kill the mana core first, and then the mage. So we'll step out praying mage. Whenever these guys are on the same tick, you never have to worry. You just can't shut your prayer off like you normally would with just the mana core. You're going to have to leave it on and keep it on magic. So we'll step out right here, and then we'll start hitting this bad boy. And as soon as you see him throw that, you're safe to change your prayer, and you'll never take damage. Just casually kill this guy. It'll take a while. It's no big deal. You could flick Rigor if you really wanted to. I wouldn't leave it on here because it's not going to speed it up that much to make it worth it. As soon as this mana core is dead, pretty much all threat from this wave is gone. Now we can kill the major, and we can flick Rigor here. And now we have the ranger here, so we'll just turn on protect from range, and we're going to start heading back towards our safe spot. We have myopia 2 on, so the best bet here is to just run behind this pillar and drag him in, because he's going to be attacking me all the way across the thing, and I'll only be able to attack him from close by. So just something to keep in mind. Whenever you have myopia on, you want to play around it as best as you can. Chances are we're going to have to take myopia 3 here, or hopefully I get like solar flare 1, or even volatility 1 isn't terrible. I just don't like volatility because I always forget when I have it on, and then I take damage. And because we have Blasphemy 3 turned on, every time you forget and you take damage, it's basically a whole sip of your restore. So that guy should be dead, so we'll get back on the start tile. We'll put our wand and our shield on. Gonna double check the loot, make sure we didn't get anything juicy. Now we have Myopia 3, Relentless, and Bees. Now we really don't want to and can't take Relentless, because if we take Relentless, our whole strategy of running 2 different pillar with Dins and just praying Mage, especially on later waves, will never work. And we're always going to get hit for a lot of damage, so if you have to take Frailty or something like that, you're pretty much screwed. So we're going to avoid Relentless, Doom, Doom Scorpion, and Bees as much as we can. Also Quartet. Those 5 are kind of run enders for this setup. It looks like we might end up getting one of them, to be 100% honest. This is our last wave with a Mage and a Melee. Once you finish the Mage Melee waves, it actually gets easier because the Minotaur has a bigger safe spot zone, so you can start to take like re-entry and stuff without having to actually worry about running out of space. It's also easier to deal with Solar Flare 1 when you just have the Minotaurs as well. Unless you're forced to take Red Flag, that's also not that good. So wave 6, we have 2 Rangers, a Mage, and a Lion. So right here, we're going to stand on the start tile. Myopia 3 activated, Prey range, start moving right away, and we have a Mana Core actually coming towards us, but there's really no good solve for this wave. We're just going to let everything stack over there. We're going to pray against the Mana Core, and he's our #1 priority. Now we can kill this guy. We can step right here to drag this guy in more. And now we can kill the Mana Core. And I actually forgot to change my prayers there, and as you can see, I didn't even take damage, so. Now we got really good RNG here because the Meleeer actually spawned in front of the Major. If the Ranger or the Major spawned, if that spawn was any different, and the Mage spawned in front of the Meleeer, I would have either had to face tank the Mage and kill him first, because he'll die a lot quicker than this Mana Core. Chances are their attacks would be off tick, or I'd have to book it for another pillar. So that's definitely a scenario that can happen, and you want to kind of be wary of that and just be paying attention. Now, like I said, Myopia 3 is on, so you have to be really careful and start really paying attention to your positioning. You can actually auto-cast from here with the Kodai, and tbow, you can attack from here to here with the Rapid on. But anything else, and you're kind of screwed. Like if I put my Blowpipe on, it'll drag me into melee range here, so you don't want that to happen at all. Couple ways to solve this wave. I think the easiest way to solve this wave is to just pray Mage and book it for another pillar, because basically if I book it for this pillar over here, I'm gonna run or these 2 Colossi are gonna get stacked here, and then these 2 Mages will come around and I can deal with each on their own. So in this scenario, if you throw your Dins on, you turn Piety on, you pray Mage because you have the lowest Mage defense, and you basically book it. I mean, you can see right there, I just got hit by like 3 range attacks or something like that, and I didn't take damage. And this actually is what's not ideal at all, is to have these guys be like this. We might have to rearrange this to another pillar one more time, because I forgot this happens when you do that, and there's no good way to hit these guys from here. Alright, so we're gonna book it one more time. So there's actually a better solve here though. If I stand right here, because the Mage is in the middle of the pillar, he can't see me right away. So if I pray range and then Mage, only if I stand right here and start running across, I can actually block all of their attacks. But just in case, we'll turn Piety on, and we'll start booking it. and then we'll turn prey range back on. And I got hit 1 damage there. And now we should get a pretty nice stack where this guy's going to come around. And we have 2 majors that I can deal with separately. And then we have a ranger. So now I can deal with this wave a lot easier than before. Before there really wasn't a solve for this. But like I said, you just throw the Dins on, you turn Piety on, and you run to another pillar. And the more defense you have, like I only have plus 300 range defense doing that, I think. If you have plus 500, you will literally never get hit. I'm 99% confident that you could bring 25 super restores, a Din's Bulwark, and literally do all the waves just praying magic and face tanking with the Dins. Alright, so now we can either kill the major or the ranger first, or kill the majors. Doesn't really matter. We'll kill this guy first. He's going to throw a javelin. We have myopia 2 on, so we don't want to forget that and run too far or run too short or something like that. Just always want to be paying attention when you have myopia 3 or whatever it is on. Step back. This is my max attack range from any pillar. It's the edge of the pillar with myopia 3. And what I like about this is that this allows you to take re-entry and stuff really easily. Whereas other setups, like if you do melee setup, re-entry is kind of a bit harder to take. We're going to reposition here. We're actually going to pick up the super restore too, because I think it's about to potentially despawn. We'll get right here. We'll run back here, and this will allow us to get to our starting tile a lot easier too. And we're just going to keep flicking Rigor to speed up the kill time and reduce the amount of prayer I lose from not prayer flicking my defensive prayers. But I think it's a lot easier to just focus on prayer flicking your offensive prayers and standing still like a turret than it is doing anything else. Wave done, put on our mage gear. Solar Flare 1, Volatility. Volatility and Solar Flare are both good invocations to take. I always forget about Volatility. And like I said, we have Minotaurs now instead of the J-Claws. So I don't have to actually worry anymore about getting totally hecked up by those guys. Alright, so I have 8 restores. We're on wave 7, and I have 9 brews. So I'll turn on Solar Flare 1 because it's really not that bad. And we'll start the wave. And we get over here, and the line hasn't started charging up. Take care of these bad boys. We're gonna kill this guy next. And now we're gonna blowpipe spec this guy to heal. And then we can throw our tbow on. We'll step here to pull this guy in actually, since we have myopia on. Now right here with Solar Flare 1, and this really only works with Solar Flare 1. If you step on that tile like that, you'll walk right over the Solar Flare orb. And you won't take damage. Minotaur, like I said, their safe spot's bigger, so you can actually stand like this. So for some reason, in my opinion, this kind of gets easier the longer you go for. You have to kill the Minotaur if it can see anything though, because it will just keep healing it. It can't see what's on this side of the pillar when it's on this side. So you can just kill whatever's over here so you can shut your prayer off. But yeah. Now we have something over there. I'm pretty sure it's a ranger. And we have a manticore right here. So we're going to check which tile will stop that guy from stepping out. It looks like it's this side and not this side. And what we're basically going to do, yep, It's the right side, is we're going to kill the Manicore, but we're going to step on this tile here. That way I don't have to worry about Solar Flare at all. And I'm pretty sure this will not pull whatever's over there. Yep. So whatever's over there is stuck there. I actually messed up right there. I forgot to turn my prayer on to begin with. I was looking at it like, wait, what am I supposed to do? Now we can step over here to pull this ranger in, and then step over here so that he doesn't shoot us, and that way we don't lose DPS. We drag him in and we can actually hit him with Myopia. And we're pretty much going to stand in the same spot we were hitting the Manicore in, and we're going to kill this bad boy. The only thing here is that I'm going to wait to heal up, to use brews, to use restores until the end of the wave, so if I have to take frailty, I don't accidentally waste a sip of brew or something. Otherwise, wave 8 is one of the harder waves here, so what we're going to do is basically overheal if we aren't forced to take frailty. And hopefully we don't have to take Solar Flare 2. Solar Flare 2, in my opinion, is really bad for the boss fight. Just adds a lot of stress. We have Frailty 1, Solar Flare 2, or Doom Scorpion, so I think I'm going to take Frailty 1. And hopefully we don't have to take Frailty 2, which isn't that good for the boss fight either. So we'll heal up to 96, which is actually more than what Frailty will reduce us to, but we really want to be full health for this wave. We get 2 Rangers, a Lion, and a Shocker. If we get Colossal Duo on Wave 9 or Wave 10, we take that because the only wave that affects is Wave 11, and it actually makes Wave 11 easier because it's harder to get an RNG spawn since they have to spawn together, the Colossal guys. So, like I said, we're going to avoid Solar Flare 2, we'll turn on Frailty 1. We have 2 Rangers here, so we're going to be praying range at the start, and then basically right there we move, and we got the best possible setup that we could have gotten here, to be honest. So now we're going to stand right here and we're going to wait for the Minotaur before we do anything else, because chances are I'm going to have to rearrange this wave and go to a different pillar, and if that's the case, I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes there's a solve for waves and sometimes there's not. It actually looks like the solve for this wave is going to be okay, well, this is not good. This is not my intention for this guy to do this. Alright. He was supposed to come in, if I'm being honest. So, I think the solution here is to take this and this, run out Praying Mage with Piety on. I don't know, actually. Well, yeah, we have to kill this Minotaur. But we'll run to, like, right here, or wherever we can actually pull the Minotaur in at. And, we'll try to get the Minotaur in so we can kill the Minotaur, and then I think that this Manticore is going to be range mage melee, so I don't actually have to worry when killing these guys at all. So that's, I think, what we're going to do. And we didn't take damage. And that guy is actually mage range melee, which is just unfortunate, but it's going to benefit us a lot here to just kill this Manicore right away, to be entirely honest, and get him out of the equation. Alright, so right here, there's a different solution too. What we're going to do here is we're going to basically pray range and then melee. I don't know. We'll do this. We'll pray against the Manticore. And then this will allow everything to restack here. And then we can restack it once again right here because it's still kind of messed up. And now we get this mage coming in, who we can take care of a lot easier. Make sure to turn piety off there because we don't need it anymore. There's that guy dead. Now we can do this to split them up. Now they're split up. And we can step out and basically kill the back Colossus first. Because if we kill this one, like I said, these Manicore and this guy will just be stacked and they'll be off tick. So that's not what we want to do. Take a sip of Restore. Pray range, just in case anything... And that is what I did not want to happen, but I got kind of chance there, thankfully. So that is just kind of unfortunate. That's just myopia. So it looks like we have to kill this guy first and then kind of rearrange our pillar. To be 100% honest, might be some kind of way to get these guys to stack. It's weird. Okay, and I did not even see that coming. That's fine though, we still have 8 brews. So we'll just double brew here. And take another sip of Super Restore. And then we're going to throw the Dins on here. Pray Piety. And run... And now we can solve this pillar over here. We can just pray range against this guy, kill him, and then kill the Manicore, or we can do it the other way around. It really doesn't matter. And then we want to make our way back towards our start tile too. So take care of this guy, let him walk in here. Excuse me. And then we'll perflick him and kill him from right here. Alright, so we got Dynamic Duo. It doesn't affect Wave 9 or 10 at all, so this is obviously what we're going to be taking. Wave 9 is 2 lines and a ranger. This is most of the time a pretty free wave, although I have had stuff kind of go wrong on this wave before. It kind of depends. We want to stay away from frailty going any higher. Same thing with solar flare. So hopefully we get like volatility as a boss invocation. I really don't know. There's a couple options we can still go down. Re-entry would be great too, as long as I don't have to take toteমিc bees or whatever else. Now right here, same thing. Excuse my coughing, jeez. We're just gonna wait for the Minotaur to spawn since we know where it's gonna spawn at. It'll always spawn over here when we're in this position. It's just always gonna benefit us. We can get rid of it. We don't have to worry about it affecting the run at all, and then we only have to deal with 3 things, which we've already done multiple times this run. And we can actually get to a different pillar this time without risking taking damage, since there's only one thing that can hit us, and that mana core will be charging the entire time that we run over. I think they're actually on tick this wave. I could be wrong. Maybe they're off tick. I don't remember. But the simple solution to this problem is to just book it to another pillar. And that is exactly what we're going to do. We don't even have to put on dints for this. And we're going to get to this tile back here that's behind where this is at. We don't actually have to do this on this wave since they're on the same tick, but we're going to do it anyways. Now we just take care of this guy, and then we can take care of those 2. So there's one guy dead, and these guys are on the same tick, so I really don't have to worry about it too much. I just have to dodge the javelins that get thrown from the sky whenever they come out. And that's what we'll do here. We'll step out. Always prioritize getting the prayers right over dealing damage. That guy should finally be dead, which means that we can just kill this guy. We don't have to worry anymore. And we get back to our save tile. Save start tile. 1750. That's actually a lot of splinters. Doom, like I said, is a run ender. Solar Flare 2, really annoying on the boss fight. Hits for like 30 and they move a lot faster, so I really don't want to take Solar Flare 2. I'd rather take Frailty and just play with less health than risk dying from Solar Flare orbs. And on this wave we have 2 Rangers and 2 Lions, so that's the big difference here. Now if we step right here, we'll bring this guy in, then we can kill him from right here. I think we could actually use this tile too. This will make sure that the Minotaur is safe spotted as soon as he spawns. And this is kind of a disaster because we're getting these guys on the same tick. So I'm just going to tank this, and if I have to use a brew, I have to use a brew. Please die. Forgot to change my prayers there. Alright, so what we're going to do here, we're going to hit this major with blood spells to heal, because it's going to hit both the Minotaur and the major. I have plenty of prayer and plenty of restores for the rest of this, so we'll just camp this. It's going to take a bit longer. I won't actually be able to kill the mage standing right here, but I'm going to deal a lot of damage on the Minotaur, get a lot of healing in. Now I can step right here, and I'm pretty sure I can hit this guy from right here. We can kill him. And then we can kill this mage here. Sip some restore up. And now what we have to do is the same thing as before, we just gotta book it to another pillar. Because I don't think these guys, I think it's gonna be mage range melee. It's gonna be off tick this time. So really, like I said, the only thing we can do is just book it to another pillar. And those guys are gonna come around the side. Can actually just step right here. We'll drink a sip of Restore and a sip of Super Restore just in case I lag out here or have connection issues. But with the Mana Core, when you have 2 of them, like I said, they don't attack at the same time, it's delayed. So you just got to be quicker with the prayer flicks, but it's the same idea. As soon as an orb goes off, you change your prayer, and then you just keep it on, similar to if you had a stack. I could also just run to a different pillar right now if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. There's really no point in doing that. Being really humble with these hits here. Those were some really humble hits, I'm not gonna lie. Now we get back to our start tile. We're on the last wave, so right here is where I can kind of decide and determine what I want to do. So re-entry is, I think, the obvious choice here. In terms of invocations, we're going to pop a restore and another brew just so we're healed. We get 2 shockers, 2 lions, and a ranger here, and a lot can go wrong on this wave. So same idea, you start here, you run here. If everything's not stacked behind the pillar, if you get diagonal spawns, you pretty much are going to have to 99% of the time book it, pray mage, and put on piety. This is one of the most humble spawns we could have gotten. And this right here is why. Okay, I thought that Minotaur was just going to come around for some reason. I don't know why. Right here we have a couple options. I think these guys are going to be off tick, and we have another lion back there. If I step out too far right here, I'll pull both lions. I don't want both lions. However, I can deal with both lions over there a lot easier. So I think that's what we're going to do is we're going to go over there. We'll sippy sippy up. Well, let's see here. I kind of want to see what this is going to be like. I mean, we have to rearrange it no matter what, because if these guys are different tick, which I think they are, I think it's the same tick as the ranger one. I wasn't paying attention, to be honest. The last wave right here. We run over here. Just step right here to bring this Manicore in. I have no idea if this is inside or outside my attack range right there. So what we're gonna do is just wait for that ball to pass so that I don't accidentally pull myself out. And then we step back. That's the Manicore dead. Still have a Ranger and one more Manicore. I kind of forgot he was going to just do that, to be honest. So that's those guys dead. Now we have these guys, and there is a way to off-tick them. If you step on this tile and then step out here, the Major will see you, and then the Ranger, and you can off-tick prayer them. But we're just going to deploy the Din's tech and get to this other pillar. We can't off-tick them here. If I could off-tick them to get to this pillar, I would. But we can't, so we're just going to pray Mage, Piety, and be ready to brew if this Ranger actually manages to hit us, and he hits us pretty hard. Because he will hit you twice running over there, so that's just something to keep in mind. And he missed, and he hit us that time, so that's why we get ready to brew, just in case. But you don't always have to brew. Wait for that guy to stop moving there so that I don't accidentally misclick, run out and take a 48 from the Ranger and just die right before the boss. But at this point, we only have one guy left. We've made it to the boss. We have 3 restores and 5 brews, or like 4.5 brews. So hopefully that's enough. Probably won't be. Probably going to plank a few times, but it's alright. Also kind of depends what boss invocations I get here. If I get something like Volatility, it's really easy. Because I don't have anything other than Solar Flare on for the boss, and Frailty 2, I guess. Frailty 2 kind of sucks, to be honest, for the boss fight, but it's better than Frailty 3. And boom, this guy is dead. Now we'll double brew, we'll double restore, and we are on the boss. We got Doom, Bees, and Frailty 3, so this is kind of a dead run. Not much we can do about it, especially with Bees. It kind of is what it is. And I could try Frailty 3, but I just really don't think it's going to work. And that's that. I guess we'll send it. We'll send it with Frailty 3. Because I don't have Sand Fuse or anything for the other ones.
Dying on my hardcore Iron Man. Completed.
And that's that. Still got a lot of work to do on the boss, but there's the waves for you guys. Hope you enjoyed watching. Take care.